Okay, so you are based in London, UK, and the day of the appointment at the US Embassy in London has arrived. How do you travel to this area and what documents do you need? If it's a rainy day, you might choose to take the bus 156, 344 or 436 from nearby Vauxhall Tube Station, or you might want to walk the route on 9 Elms Lane, or you choose the Riverside Walk, the picturesque route, which will take you some 10-15 minutes to reach the embassy from Vauxhall Tube Station. You might choose to cross north of the river, walk to nearby Chelsea, and from there further away. If you choose to take a taxi from Vauxhall Tube Station, according to Google Maps, you'll reach the embassy in 0.5 miles, which is going to take you some 2 minutes. So it took me around 10 minutes to travel on 9 Elms Lane to the embassy, returning afterwards via the picturesque route, as you are going to see later on. I had all the documents I needed with me. The form D-160, which I filled online in March 2020, as my first appointment was cancelled with less than 24 hours notice, being on 17th of March 2020, and I had some 10 appointments cancelled until now. Finally, September 2021, I applied for a national interest exemption. So, you learn how to fill in the form D-160. Is straightforward. What I would suggest, if again you had a long time between filling the form and going to the embassy, is to actually print or take screenshots of these documents. I also had the instructions. The embassy staff did not even look at them. And the 160 online form, I needed only the first page, basically them to mark printed with the online form. The picture I had with me, again, it was returned, is a 5 by 5 centimeter picture with the head being between 22 and 35 millimeters, as you're advised. At the embassy, I noticed there are some picture booths, or the right hand side as you come from the elevator, and on the other side is the cashier. I think I noticed some 17 booths to speak with the consular staff. And the last thing which needs to be mentioned is the fees. I paid around $190, I think, back in March 2020. But big surprise, at the embassy I was asked to pay another $105, which I paid at the cashier. Arriving at the embassy, you are going to pass first the easterly entrance, which is for the staff, and then go at the back to the southern entrance, which is for visitors, where American and foreign will be directed to different queues for all kind of visas. So people like me, non-US citizen, are directed to the first floor, and the other people to the second floor. I have to make a note there. If you have noticed, that swimming pool, which was open summer 2021 and was heavily featured in the news, showing swimmers swimming between the two buildings. That is very nice to have something like that in your building. You can arrive 1 hour earlier at the embassy if you wish so. However, you can start presenting the documents after going to the southerly entrance only 30 minutes prior to your appointment. What I liked was the fact that the embassy staff is a mix of international people from all over the world, and the staff at the booths were a mix of English and American. So as you join your queue, according to which country you come from, whether you are a British or American, you have to pass through the security building, which you see here, the one for the staff and the next one is for the visitors. You are not asked though to remove your shoes, but there are lots of signs there if you want to check in advance. The staff is very, very nice and friendly. And this is a picture I have taken at the front of the entrance. Once you pass the security, which for me was a breeze, you go to the reception on the ground floor, where again you are separated into different queues. You are given a number. I arrived 30 minutes prior to my appointment, and because of this, I noticed that there were people who had appointments at 8:30, so they were running late. My appointment was for 9 o'clock, and because of this I had to wait a bit longer. The wait was due probably because there were lots of people in the building. I saw families and lots of people just coming from inside, probably from the first and the second floor where they had their visa interview. Taking the elevator to the first floor, I have waited probably some 5 or 10 minutes, and then I was called to the first booth where basically I wasn't asked any question about myself but about the family member which was in the States, which was very interesting because this is the question I have not foreseen, just like being asked at the second interview to pay the amount of $105 extra. So I was asked about the family member working already in the States since February 2020. As I mentioned so many times, we have been separated and this put lots of stress on me, and now I have got lots of medical problems I have not even think is possible of having. This is truly upsetting because it looks like I'll have to invest now more money into these medical issues I have developed in the last months, and it is an extra thing I have to think of. So no questions being asked about myself, instead about the family member, and the thing that helped was the fact that he also came to the embassy in February 2020, and they were able to find everything about him based on his name and birth date I gave to the embassy staff. After that, more waiting, so probably I was waiting again for like 30 minutes, which was very interesting, so the interviews were very short. And I went to the second interview, so different booth where again a very nice lady, this lady was American, very very nice and very sweet, again did not ask anything about me, I only mentioned my medical problems, again asked about only the family member and his L1 visa, and me being an L2 as I mentioned earlier on. Again, his name, his details about his job, his management job in the States, and nothing about me. Of course, I started crying because I cry every single day. Let's hope this crying is going to stop now. You are given straight away the answer, and the answer was yes, I got the visa straight away. And apparently this is normal. That's what happened to also the family member. And maybe what confused them, because this second lady mentioned we tried to reunite families straight away. She was very surprised I had to wait close to 553 days, I think, to be reunited with a family member. And she said we tried to reunite families straight away. So she was surprised I had to wait such a long time. I wanted to show to her the letter I got from my doctor asking for the national interest exemption. And she said, why do you need a letter like that? And I said to her, she said, okay, but she wasn't that much interested in it. So I brought extra documents, which I highly recommend for you to bring. Always think of extra things. As I mentioned, these two things surprised me. Number one, being asked about the L1 visa for the family member, nothing about me. And I wanted to explain to them my plans in the United States that I'm going to do. I was not asked even one thing about charities or anything I support. And the second thing, being asked to pay $105 extra. This is besides the $190 I paid last year. Another thing which I found interesting, and if you are interested in statistics, is that the capacity there is probably 100 people are allowed or able to sit there at one time. However, while I was there, probably there were 60 people coming and going at one time. Probably only 5 people made the effort to be in suits. So this represents around 10% of the people there. The rest were dressed in a mix of casual and as if going for a run, which I found very surprising. I hope as ever this information was of any help to you.